Well, Brock Purdy was pretty good. I mean, let's be honest. Who is he? Not going to pretend I knew much about him. But look, we knew a little bit about him. He was drafted in the seventh round. When they said it, they named his college from Iowa State, which right away tells me this is one of those guys they probably liked with their eyes and not with the box scores. Not that he was bad. He threw about 18 to 20 touchdowns a season with eight interceptions. Not the kind of numbers that gets you drafted, obviously, in the first or second round as a quarterback. But in the seventh round, maybe they saw something they liked. And maybe they were right. Because in comes Brock Purdy, and I think done, finished. How are you going to beat Miami, who hasn't lost the game with Tua as the starting quarterback? And they're a really fairly good defense. You know, we're talking about a playoff team in the Miami Dolphins with a seventh round draft pick. This was exactly biggest fear as a 49er fan was to see Jimmy G go down because there wasn't a veteran quarterback on the roster. But then in comes Purdy, and what does he do? He wins the game. I'm not saying he carried the team on the shoulder, but he is exactly what we would expect a quarterback to be in the Shanahan system. So you see what's beautiful about the Shanahan offensive system is it almost keeps in mind that there's only about four elite quarterbacks in the NFL. So the odds of having that quarterback aren't very good. So you can't put all of your hopes of a Super Bowl, all of your hopes of being a great team on having a great quarterback. You just can't. You take your shots. It would be great to have an elite quarterback, but you need to have a way to win games and a way to be competitive and a way to try to win a Super Bowl. Without that, since very few teams get to have it. And we've seen teams successfully win Super Bowls without elite quarterbacks, without having that top four guy, without having that Aaron Rodgers, without having the Burrows looks like he's going to be an elite quarterback, right? But there are teams that win Super Bowls without that. And that's what's great about the Shanahan system is you don't have to carry the team on your back. You just have to run or manage the offense. And what that means is you're not having to throw for 400 yards. You're not having to drop back and do it all yourself or call tons of audibles or anything like that. You just need to know where your top 2-3 progressions are going to be, and in order, go through those progressions and have a check down and give the ball to your running backs most of the time. Very, very simple. Well, really not simple. But for an NFL quarterback, it's simpler than in other offenses. So Purdy comes in, wins the game. What does that do? What's the significance of that? Well, it means that maybe the Niners don't have to run out in panic mode and find somebody else. Maybe this kid could be the answer. Maybe he could do enough where the 49ers could still move on with their season. Maybe he could do just as well as Jimmy G. I don't know. It's only one game. That would be really jumping to conclusions. But we don't know what the kid's ceiling is. We don't know that he can't. There's no evidence that he can't because he hasn't failed yet. He hasn't failed, and the yet part might not even happen. So is there hope for the 49ers? Yes, because the 49ers are not built around needing an extreme or elite or excellent quarterback. The 49ers are built to excel with really good running, good game management, and amazing defense. So in the future, we would love for Trey Lance to be elite. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we don't want an elite quarterback. I'm saying that the 49ers don't require one to be a contender. 49ers will go on to win the division this year. The 49ers will be a major threat in the playoffs. It will be harder to compete with teams like Philadelphia, Dallas, and maybe Minnesota. I'm not blown away by them. Without Jimmy G, it will be harder, but it's not impossible. This could be one of those great stories because Brock Purdy is pretty good. Go Niners.